the Kootenai were known as a linguistic isolate. So they actually, it is believed that they were the first people to ever settle this area in North America, and that is going to be because their language roots could not be traced back to any others on planet Earth. Which means that the Kootenai tribe could not officially communicate with any other native tribes in the area. So the Kootenai people, the theory as to how they got here is going to actually be that they crossed an ice bridge that formed between the easternmost tip of Russia and the westernmost tip of Alaska, and they walked across this ice bridge following their primary source of food, as they were a nomadic tribe even back in that day, which was mammoths. And this theory is supported by the fossil records that show that mammoths existed in both hemispheres of our planet and started to die off around the same time when temperatures started to warm back up. Basically the planet got too hot to support them after the Ice Age. So they turned to the closest source of food they could find, which is going to be the North American bison. So the Kootenai people actually had an annual bison hunt that would occur when the snowfall is at its absolute thickest. Excuse me. And that's because these bison have short, stubby little legs that make it a little difficult for them to make it through 20 to 30 plus feet of snow alongside or on top of mountains. And the Kootenai knew this, and they used this to their advantage. So when the snowfall is at its deepest, around typically between January and February, they would actually have an annual bison hunt that would occur for an average of 6 to 8 weeks at a time. They would have their best hunters and trackers mount their strongest war horses that were not only resilient to the cold, but they were also fast enough and strong enough to keep up and carry and pull these bodies back to their tents. So that when they'd actually trap these massive creatures in these deep snowfields, these bison would be killed with relative ease by the hunters and trackers. And then these massive war horses that were extremely strong and powerful would carry these massive carcasses all the way back to their tents, typically miles and miles away at a time. But it was okay because these bodies were almost perfectly preserved as the area was so cold. The average temperature here in the winter is actually typically anywhere from 0 degrees to 5 degrees Fahrenheit, making it perfect for preserving these massive animals as they're being transported throughout this area. And so because of this, the American bison were actually extremely sacred to the Kootenai people and their religion. They believed that the water spirits on Lake McDonald would bless them with these bison every year, just for the purpose of their survival. So they actually referred to this lake as sacred dancing waters. They perform a 3-day dancing ceremony on the shores near where Apgar Village actually lies today. So the first day, they would do this for their wealth. The second day would be for their health.